Nice. Can you both attack this thing, please? Come on. Keep it up, ladies. Oh, come on. Dark again. Come on. Gosh, this thing has a lot of HP. Come on. Be staggered soon. Come on, ladies. Keep it up. Come on, Revenant Dragon. What's the matter? Oh, come on. Come on, he's almost down. Heal up. There we are. Feel that high stagger.
Nice.
On to you.
It's almost down. A little bit more, ladies. See, this dragon is actually way harder than the Vala whatever. Stay down.
Good work, everyone.
Just one revival.
Corruption staunched. The Avenura cease their gnawing. The crossroads heals. A sanctum renewed, dweller, as is needed.
Perfect.
We did it. That dragon must have been the god's final weapon to take the crossroads.
The team came face to face with a blighted dragon, sent by the gods to corrupt the crossroads. Defeating the nightmarish creatures destroyed Elgar'nan and Ghilan'nain's most insidious influence on the place.
It already feels warmer here, doesn't it?
Let's go.
Nice. Good, good, good. We still have 2 more. Still have 2 more. Regrets of the Dreadwolf. Dragon's Tear. A dragon's tear, the final trace of vigor, petrified in the last moment of self-mourning, echoes of a dragon who refused to surrender to her affliction, haunt the stone. The Last Resort. Each time you use an ability that hits an enemy, gain plus 20% damage and minus 27 to resistance. This bonus is reset if you defend or dodge. I dodge way too much. That ring is not going to be... is not going to get much use at all. The calm before the storm. I come here sometimes when I need to be myself. Not Solas's friend Felasan, not the slow arrow of the rebellion, just me. He hasn't been right since what happened with Mythal. He's planning something with the dagger, and if it were a good idea, he'd have told me. Dang it, Solas, I'm with you as long as we're protecting the innocent from the powerful, but you make it hard sometimes. Felasan. Ooh. We saw one of these.
You return.
Second circle.
We are content.
Why are you here? What do you want?
Not now. Not yet. We will show you soon.
This just gets weirder every time.
This is the second, like, spherical circle thing. The first one we found was in the Mornwatch, was in the Necropolis. What is that? Who is this person? Tosh Talks, Dragon Crossroads Revenant. Appearance. There wasn't enough of the original dragon for you to be sure of the breed. The lack of horns makes it more likely to be a cold breather. That wasn't her natural color. I've never heard of a dragon with iridescent green hide. The Rialto green tide has green bits, so do a few others. She was much more blighted than the blighted ones we fought in Hosburg. The glowing warts were blight. They probably drove the changes, like that's how Ghilan'nain made the changes to the dragon. Diet. The blight? I don't know. Ask Davrin. Behavior. The most messed up part of the dragon was how Ghilan'nain's changes actually worked. She looked weird, but she was healthier than the dragons at Hosburg. I bet that those warts would have receded at given time. Ghilan'nain wasn't killing the dragon, she was changing her. And the dragon could breathe fire, and cold, and lightning. I've never seen a dragon that could do that. Not gonna volunteer to get changed by Ghilan'nain. But breathing cold and lightning on top of fire would be pretty neat. I mean, I think that would be kind of awesome if you already can do fire. So instead of the last firebender, she could be the last. She could be the Qunari avatar of being able to master earth, fire, and lightning. Lightning, cold, and fire. I don't know. A second circle, a page torn out of a journal. We found it, a complete circle. It wasn't in Arlathan, it was in the deep roads, of all places. Someone heard what sounded like challah coming from a fissure. Taryn and I, as the keeper's second and first, were asked to take a look and see if any of our animals had gone missing. We went down into the deep roads and followed the sound. Could tell by the echoes that they were some ways in. So we get ready for the journey. Eventually we found them in a chamber farther in, just as we had expected. It was dark. I mean, it's dark nearly everywhere in the deep roads, but even the light spell that Taryn had cast started to sputter out when we entered the room. The air felt greasy, almost like we were pushing through it, but we made it to where the hollow were cowering, and I saw it, a complete circle. I took it. It was strangely cold to the touch. Even now, next to the fire, it stays cold, and there's a marking, white lines and black triangles. I wonder what it means. Ceres, first of Clan Arashal. Okay, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here.
To other shores.
The regrets of the Dread Wolf. Okay. 2 more. Before we continue on, let's go back to the lighthouse and check out these other memories.
Again.
Delays. So much more could be accomplished from the then Fen'Harel. Solus raised that beacon in mockery of my own tower of learning. The disrespect.
Do not dwell upon it, Elgar'nan. The lighthouse is but one wonder we shall reclaim.
Not a chance.
It will be remade, and all traces of Fen'Harel erased from its walls.
Not a chance. Whoa.
If I'd
Hello,
been
John.
faster, quicker with the dagger at Weishaupt, Ghilan'nain would be dead now.
I was there, Lucanus. I saw it myself. From one professional to another, you did everything you could.
I missed the target.
You also pulled off the most incredible acrobatic assassination attempt I've ever seen.
It was pretty hot.
Well, if you're going to kill, do it in style.
I agree.
Just remember the killing part.
Next time.
Next time.
Nev, I just wanted to say what you did back in Arlethan.
What did she do
Thank you.
back in Arlethan?
Really, you're a good friend. A really, really good friend.
What did she do again?
You helped me as much as I helped you. But you're welcome.
I never had a sister.
Aww.
Well, you're one to me. And that means a lot.
Trying to pull the heartstrings means a lot to me too, Belle. And right back at you.
Oh. Oh. I love the relationships between these party members. They're even closer than the ones in Inquisition. I feel like of all of the party members throughout all the Dragon Age, I feel like this is the party that gets along the most. I think this one gets along the most, followed by Inquisition, followed by Origins, followed by Dragon Age 2. Inquisition, I think they got along okay, but I didn't think they got... Many of them didn't get particularly close.
Hey, Rook.
Especially when you threw in Vivienne. I don't know if anyone... There weren't very many people who particularly got super close to Vivienne. A couple people got close to Sarah. A lot of people were afraid of Cole, with the exception of like Solus and Varric. You know, they got along fine, but this is... I just feel like we're a lot more of a... I don't know... functional family, as opposed to dysfunctional family in this one.
Have the Lords of Fortune picked a new expert to assess Kunari treasures?
Tried out a guy. Useless as tits on a drake. Couldn't tell a first
What?
expedition is Solitar from a Steel Age ritual jug.
Ridiculous. So you'll be handling things for the Lords?
I guess. Until we find a real expert. Like my mother.
I wish you luck in finding them.
Okay. Let's fuse the memories, shall we? View the regret.
dare to try to cage us, jealous of our growing power.
You will pay the final price for this betrayal.
We warned you not to use the Blight. For this, and for Mathol, I sentence you to sleep in exile ever after. Your own lives will form the veil that keeps the horror you unleashed at bay.
Oh. There are 7. There were 7 there, in addition to Ghilan'nain.
So he
and Elgar'nan.
locked the gods away and created a veil between this world and the Fade. I mean, they were terrible, no question. But what he did, it didn't just stop them. It destroyed our culture, our world.
It wasn't just to stop them. It was to stop the Blight. We've seen how bad Elgar'nan and Ghilan'nain are. Imagine all 7 corrupted gods running wild.
So he created the Veil just to keep the elven gods locked in their prison?
Yes, to keep them from accessing the Fade. But was the creation of the Veil around the world an accident?
You heard him yelling. That's not the sound of a ritual going right.
What do you think, Rook?
Solus's best snatches of panic. It makes sense. As a watcher, alarmed.
Honestly, it's a little terrifying. I've studied the Fade for years with the Watchers. The idea that the Veil, a fundamental part of our world, was an accident as Solus sprang his trap.
Astonishing. How little we truly know.
And a good reminder not to start spells you don't know how to finish.
I had another question, and I'm sorry, maybe this doesn't matter, but Solus trapped the blighted gods in an ancient elven building, right?
That's what it looks like. Maybe a palace? Fancier than what I've seen in Arlithin, at least.
And then, the Magisters were lured into the Fade. They broke in, which let the Blight escape, and turned the Golden City black.
Right, and the Black City hangs in the Fade, a little reminder of their mistakes. What's wrong, Lace?
It's just... the Chant of Light says that the Maker built for them the Golden City, the center of all creation. But if the Golden City was an ancient elven palace, then the Maker didn't build it. The elves did.
Right.
The Chant of Light is Andraste's visions from the Maker, but it sounds like it's wrong.
Yeah.
You're asking if we just disproved the entire Andrastian faith.
Right.
Did we?
I still believe in the Maker. Confirm continued belief in the Maker. Speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker. Put aside the questions of the Maker. Do not give a personal view regarding your belief in the Maker. Speak as someone who does not believe in the Maker. Share Harding's belief and anxiety at learning this. Because I feel like I'm in the minority, because I'm aware I'm in the minority in this. I don't know if I'm necessarily in the minority, but I think as a Let's Player, I am a religious person. You know, I am a religious person. I am a Christian, and I think that Christian characters or characters of faith or religious characters tend to not be as represented a lot in video games, and I think the vast majority of Let's Players don't really let their religion or their belief system bleed into their characters during the Let's Plays. Understandably so, because religion, of course, can be a very touchy subject for a lot of people, and many of them like to keep that out of their gaming experience / Let's Play experience. Totally understand that whatsoever. But again, just for the sake of adding something to the Let's Play community that I think is of the minority and is not very prevalent, I do think that if I was to define Zen's belief system, I think he does believe in the Maker. Now, does he believe necessarily in the Andrastian faith? and the Andrastian interpretation of the Maker, I think he's more agnostic about that aspect. Like, he's not really sure. And I think with everything that they're talking about here about the Golden City, it further reinforces him saying that his belief that, okay, maybe the Andrastian faith isn't completely accurate. Now, does the fact that there is no Golden Palace, I think what I'm trying to say is, whether you call it the Maker or not, I think Zen believes in some higher power. He, as someone who studies the Fade and studies about death and ponders about what happens after we die, right? He ponders after that. I don't think that just because an organized religion got something wrong about someone called the Maker who created the world, I don't think that disproves the existence of some higher power necessarily. It could. I mean, there very well could be no higher power in this setting, in this universe. But I think for Zen, he just believes that it would just be the chances of everything just being totally random and a coincidence for him seems unlikely. He feels unlikely, and he feels like he believes there must be some higher power that sort of pulled the strings that ended up causing the creation of all of this. Now, it could be an entity that is totally different from the Maker, as the Andrastians believe it, you know. So yeah, I think that's what I'm trying to say. Just because we disproved the Andrastian faith and the Andrastian interpretation, at least the Andrastian interpretation of how the world was created, that doesn't mean that the world wasn't created some other way by some higher power, whether you call that higher power the Maker or not. So I think that's what Zen believes, especially considering how he is a member of the Morn Watch. And I think when you're a member of the Morn Watch, like I said, when you're studying death and you're studying the Fade and things, because I don't think that in Andrastian faith, I've never heard of anyone refer to the word heaven. Nobody really talks about heaven in Thetis, because I think the concept of heaven doesn't really exist. I think people believe that they returned back to the Maker in the Golden City or wherever it is the Maker it is now. But I've never heard anyone refer to that place as heaven. And so I think Zen thinks that maybe when people die, they don't end up in the Fade. Maybe they end up somewhere else. Maybe they end up in a golden palace. Maybe they don't end up in a golden city. Maybe they end up somewhere else, or maybe they just end up in a state of being. It's not necessarily you go somewhere. It's just you end up in a different state of being, and that state of being could be what we think of as heaven in real life for those of us who believe in heaven, or something totally different. I don't know. At any rate, I think Zen is someone who is always open-minded. He's always open-minded. I think it's hard for him to definitively say if something is true or not. In this case, he feels pretty strongly that the whole Golden City thing was not true. He thinks that there's enough proof right now where he doesn't think that part is true. But that doesn't disprove the existence of a higher power. So I'll say confirm continued belief in the Maker.
I believed in the Maker too, Lace. I still do. I don't think you have to give it up.
But what they taught us was just wrong. What if the Maker just doesn't exist?
Could be.
The Light might be wrong. But it's been made and changed by people over 1,000 years.
There was a whole verse about an elf named Shartan. and the Chantry just cut it out.
So maybe the Golden City was meant as a metaphor. Or maybe it was added because of politics.
Right.
That might change the history, but it doesn't have to change your whole faith.
The Dalish clans are struggling with the same thing. What do we keep? What do we lose?
Right.
The Elven Gods, the Maker. No matter who you light a candle to, you've got some hard questions to ask yourself right now.
Doctrine is not the truth. It is one of many paths to the truth.
I recognize the sentiment, though not the specific quote. Who said that?
My mother.
She was a wise woman?
Questions of faith aside, we have some very real gods that still need killing.
Looks like there are 3 more of these murals with the Dreadwolf's old memories. Wonder what else he's hiding.
Yeah. I think that's the thing about religion is absolutely we could all be people of faith, people of religion could definitely be wrong. We could definitely be very wrong. I think that, like, for me personally, that's a possibility. Like, I think the fact that there is just so little that we know definitively, that in and of itself is important, because faith by definition means you believe in something that you can't prove. You know, if any of us could prove for a fact that the Maker exists, God exists, Jesus exists, if we all could prove that definitively, then there's no faith. Like, faith just goes out the door. And so I think that it does. I don't think I particularly care whether or not somebody's religion is quote unquote true. All I care is if it helps them, if it works for them, if it helps them be better people, if it helps them treat others the way that you would want to be treated, if it helps them to get through difficult times, if it helps them keep their sanity, if it helps them, you know, use it as a way to help their moral compass. Those are all good things. Those are all good things. Whether it's true or not, those are good things. And if you are able to maintain all those things without believing in anything, without believing in a higher power, without having a spiritual side, you know, just because you don't have to necessarily be religious or belong to a organized religion in order to have a sense of spirituality. You know, there's that too. Whatever your belief system is, as long as you're not a total D-bag or a complete a-hole and you treat others well and you're just a good person, who cares? Who cares what you do or don't believe? And who cares if you're right or wrong? Like, it ultimately, like, as far as other people are concerned, I don't think it really matters. And if you are a religious person, and you believe in a higher power, then your salvation is between yourself and that higher power. It you know, and it shouldn't have to be dictated or judged, or it shouldn't matter what other people think, as long as, again, you're a good person and you're contributing to this world and you're giving more than you're taking, and you're leaving people better than you find them, you're leaving the world better than you found it, you're contributing something positive to this, to society, or at minimum doing no harm. I don't know. That's just my hot take on it. So. Is this about Mythal?
You have so long observed the world. Why not consider joining it?
But I have no desire to live as humans. I have the Fade. Besides, this talk of taking on a solid form. I think you underestimate the danger. When you took the glowing stone to build your body, did the earth not shake?
Delirium gives us the strength we had when we were of the Fade. We are the best of physical and spirit.
The best of
I
physical and
need
spirit.
your wisdom Solus. To withstand the louder voices who would go too far like Elgar'nan, I need you.
This is madness. You must know that. I will always follow where you go.
What?
This is astounding. The ancient elves were spirits who voluntarily manifested a physical form.
Maybe that's why they could
I'd
live
rather
forever.
go back to talking about the Blight.
Hey.
I don't.
Lucanus. Could Spite turn into an elf?
No.
Sorry, but...
No.
What?
I'm with you, Balara. This is interesting. Okay, is that useful? No. Zen, always the scholarly student, is like, I find that fascinating.
This puts all of elven history in a new light, not to mention what we think about spirits.
I mean, some magic works differently for elves. If we came from spirits, that'd explain it.
The knowledge that an entire people were formed from a mass manifestation could change our entire understanding of magic.
If we let it out, is that the right call? Do you want bigoted humans yelling about how elves are demons?
Davrin's got a point. World's not short on small-minded humans.
I don't want to cause harm, though.
If the world learned about this, and it led to attacks against elves.
Elves have enough trouble as it is down in Ferelden.
We have to tell someone, though. Strife and Irulan, at least.
If I told Thea and Viago, they'd think I was sampling Viago's poison collection. No one will believe us.
Okay. We keep this to people we trust who have good reason to know. No shouting it from the rooftops.
Agreed. The Morn Watch has a great deal of experience keeping dangerous secrets.
So, beyond the world-shaking stuff, what else did we learn here?
World-shaking?
Solus himself was a spirit.
That's Sailor
What kind do you
Uranus
think
stuff.
he was?
Well, his name is Elven for pride.
A pride spirit?
Okay.
There's something else. Not about spirits, or not all about them at least. Solus didn't want to become a person with a physical body.
Interesting.
Right. He only agreed after Mathal begged him.
Then that's his regret. He wishes he'd never taken physical form.
Maybe, but not just that. Solus was scared. They built their bodies out of lyrium, and it made the ground shake.
Like the Titans. Yeah, they hurt the Titans. This is so interesting. Also, the fact that if Solus was a spirit who then took physical form, this brings me back to that heated debate in Dragon Age Inquisition about Cole, and whether or not you can choose to make Cole more of a spirit or more human. And Varric severely wanted Cole to be a human, whereas Soul was highly pushing for Cole to remain a spirit, or to embrace the spirit side. And this makes a lot of sense now, since Solus seemed to regret turning mortal or turning into a physical form. I can't help but feel like that is a huge continuity continuity affirmation. But also, yeah, how this ties into the Titans. They hurt the Titans.
Lyrium is the blood of the Titans.
The Titans would have felt it as an attack. They defended themselves.
The first memory we saw with Elgar'nan seizing power, it happened at the end of a war.
A war between the Titans and the elves.
Lace, I'm so sorry.
It feels like we still don't have the full picture. But I think that's part of what Solus regrets. He didn't see the danger.
Except he did. He was worried. You said it yourself.
He did it for Mithal. Everything that followed, he could have prevented if he just told her no.
Then he's got a war on his conscience. Plus, whatever we find next.
Solus has got a lot of messed up decisions. Witness the fourth memory of Fen'Harel. Wow. Still have 2 more. This is all very interesting. There's so many revelations of things that we did not realize before. This is it's really cool how much new stuff, really like world-shattering new things, new knowledge we're picking up now in this game. I love it. We have so many questions, but we've gotten a lot of our previous questions answered too, which is great. The other thing that I was thinking about, since it's been established or heavily implied that Mythal and Solus had a thing for each other, it seemed like they were in love. I'm wondering how things play out when you had a Llewellyn in Dragon Age Inquisition. If your Elven Inquisitor romanced Solus, right? Because Solus ended up, now you ended up being at least his second love. So is there a, I'm wondering if the Inquisitor would have something to say about that.
Displayed at Arlathan. How smoothly he commanded the will of hundreds at once.
Not the tune I need stuck in my head. Venatori in his pocket and now an archdemon. Can't say I like where this is going.
You and Bellara cut through his enchantment.
Yeah. Lucky he didn't know we were there. Can't count on it twice.
We'll find something new.
I remember when Dragon Age Inquisition was in development, that they originally did not plan for Solus to be a romanceable character. But then near the end, they ended up making a change to allow him to be romanceable. And I feel like the reason why originally they weren't going to have him be romanceable is because A, he ends up betraying the Inquisition, or at least just betraying the world at the very end. Not just at the very end of Trespasser, but as early as the end of the main game, the main story in Inquisition. So I think that may be a reason why they were hesitant of having him be a romanceable character if he was just going to leave the Inquisitor at the end of the game. And then number 2, because he had already had a love with Mythal. Not to say that he can't fall in love again, but that could be like another reason why they were shying away from it. So I think it's interesting that they ended up allowing him to be a romanceable character, which I think was a good call, because I think that this whole storyline would hit totally differently. The beats would be very different if your Inquisitor had romanced Solus. And, learning about his previous relationship with Mythal, I think is interesting if you were a player who had an Inquisitor that romanced him as well. So, some things to think about. Hauntings of Shadows. How's everyone in the Acropolis doing?
We finished off a whole group of skeletons.
Interesting that they banded together.
It availed them not.
We've traced several disappearances to an unusual possession.
It seeks fear. Cut it down.
There are whispers from the levels below.
We shall find them.
Huntings, feeling scared? Oh. Why not? We just got another quest. Stop a possessor demon. Find the hauntings in Habsburg. Silent figure stained in blood stalks the blighted wetlands. The spirit possessing it thrives on fear. Those who can't flee its presence have wind up dead and must return to the Fade. Let's give it a try. Stop the possessor demon.
There. It's a haunting.
The Scarecrow. Ooh. Where's Batman when you need him? Aha! Vulnerable to fire? That is just fine by me. Glacial pace. Icebreaker. It's okay. Resistant to ice, it's okay. At least I can...
Ready if you are.
Oh. Come on. Dodge this. Come on, punk. I really don't care.
There we go.
Get over there. This punk is annoying. Keeps jumping around. It's so annoying. I like his design though.
Not too bad.
Come on. The fact that it keeps jumping around is just so frustrating, but I know that's part of the fight. Will you just stay still? Come on, Scarecrow. someone named Scarecrow, you sure do run away a lot. The fact that he just keeps running around is what is making this battle so infuriating.
My job's done. Your turn.
Finally making a dent on him. There we go.
They must have a place for the wetlands.
Ah, we've done it.
Back to the necropolis. Ah, jeez.
We got rid of a haunting in the Hossberg wetlands.
Welcome news.
It will stalk the innocent no longer.
Better not.
A malignant spirit has attached itself to an inanimate
Another haunting.
object.
Another one.
It has already taken lives.
Dispose of it before it strikes again.
Okay.
We've an unseen visitor.
They pass on.
Ooh, spined encasement. Nice. Legendary. Legendary. Gain rally party when attacking demons and undead. I like that. Docktown. Stop an undead killer. Find the hauntings in Monrathos. Okay. Let's do it.
We've...
Death itself?
It must be the haunting.
A giant candle hop? Oh. Weak against ice? Perfection.
Problem on my doorstep.
I wonder what drew it to a candle hop form.
Candle hop enchantments give them the lay of the city. If the spirit picked those up, made it easy to skulk around.
Alright. Return back to the necropolis. Again. So we do have a relatively decent number of Mornwatch missions, they just don't all take place in the Necropolis. I still think the mission content is balanced, is not balanced, excuse me, throughout the different faction areas.
We've much.
Oops.
Congratulations are in order. There are no more hauntings of this magnitude to be dealt with.
You have done well.
Allow us to present you with a final token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
We've an unseen
Tombstone
visitor.
dust.
They pass on.
Tombstone dust. Another unique Vitar. Gain precision when you reach low health. Hits now hit leech 100% while you have. Yeah, I don't expect to be in low health a ton. Okay. Nice. So we are finishing up our to-do list. That's amazing. So now we can go back and try to wrap up things in the Crossroads. Then after I wrap up things in the Crossroads with the regrets, with Dreadroll's regrets and all that good stuff, I'm just gonna do one more pass through all of the maps just to see if there's anything, any chests that I can attempt to acquire. There we go. That's what I didn't do last time. Okay.
Attack!
We've a fight ahead.
Oh, I can see that.
All together!
Boom. Boom.
We've done it.
The Trials of the Gods. The memory of a sermon given to this spot still lingers. How does one serve a god? For the poor souls still enthralled to the Evanurus, that question has been answered for them. Service is no longer willingly given. It must be rested, and it must entertain. Mythal called her people together and offered this warning. Shall you kneel in terror, work mindlessly, parrot my virtues, and think it the greatest of compliments to me? Do not merely follow the wise, seek the wisdom they sought. How then does one serve a god who scorns both servility and unexamined divinity? The answer is in the trials they set for their chosen. We must embody their virtues and know their regrets. There is no greater offering than to understand. Words to live by. Nug meat. Okay, let's break these. Spite is up there. Whoa. Okay, well, once we get up there. The Way of Peace. A pantomime theater mask of Selays. In narrative, she is the hearth you leave and return to. The comfort that bookends a journey where everything, especially self, has become unfamiliar.
those Fen'Harel altars. That's another barrier down.
I think we're going to be able to get another memory. Flame Cloak Magister. Very well.
There. That's what the Venatori are after.
This chest? Oh, this thing.
That wolf statuette. We've seen them before. Better keep it safe.
Twist of the veil. But there's... If you will, Lucanus. Thank you, Spike. Fen'Harel altar skill point. Nice. Alright, and now there's one more. I think there's one more memory, and we'll have finished all of the side quests. Here, which I believe is linked to the soldier puzzle? The statue puzzle in the Crossroads? That's my guess as to how to reach that area that we can't get to right now. The Father of Retribution. A pantomime theater mask of Elgar'nan. In a narrative, he represents promise before acceptance, the power before the price, the moment of choice that precedes justice or vengeance, rise or fall.
Docktown feels brighter these days.
With Aelia gone, the place got a weight off its shoulders.
That man down there with the fish stall offered me a meal the other day.
Oh, how nice.
So you charmed Halos.
Not exactly. His words were, for any friend of Nev's.
Oh.
Well, nice of him.
I thought so too.
Okay, superior fate construct.
It's a fight then!
Electricity.